What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Well, the word is that Steve and Noi from Married at First Sight, season 14, Boston, have officially split. I got a notification on my phone from eonline.com where it says that the Married at First Sight stars announced their split on their individual social media accounts on July 10th, more than a month after Lifetime finished airing season 14 of the reality dating show. Now, eOnline calls Married at First Sight a reality dating show when these people were legally married, as we were constantly reminded by the experts throughout the entire season. Noi 33 kept her breakup statement short and simple, sharing a photo of herself on a surfboard with the caption, "Divorce feels good." On her Instagram story, the talent acquisition coordinator added, "Take back your narrative even when your voice shakes." She also referenced her split from Steve through multiple song choices that played on her story, including Kanye West's 2021 single Hurricane, which features The Weeknd and Little Baby. "No more dark for me, I know you're watching me," The Weeknd sings. "80 degrees burning up the leaves, finally I'm free." She also included Camila Cabello and Ed Sheeran's 2022 hit Bam Bam on a video of her happily dancing on the beach. The track features the lyrics, "Yeah, love came around and it knocked me down, but I'm back on my feet." So it seems like Noi is very happy about the split. Um, I'm not, obviously, we don't know the details of what led up to this, but we can only speculate. When I watched their season, to me, it seemed like the fact that Steve didn't have a job that he reported to every day, I think that really bothered her. I think it came to a point where she couldn't ignore it anymore. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But in the season, it bothered her that he didn't have a job that he was reporting to every day. Even though he claimed that he had more than enough money, he had more than enough in his savings account. And I don't know if he was generating income through other ways, but it just bothered her. I think that he didn't have a job that he got up and reported to every day like she did. And I'm not sure if she felt some type of resentment where, and she worked from home. So she worked from home and he was home all day. So maybe she felt some type of a resentment that she had to report to her job every day and he had the freedom to do whatever he wanted every day. And the little things is what really breaks up a marriage. Sometimes it's something really big like an affair or something like that or abuse. But sometimes it's those little things that continuously build up and you don't see any changes that can lead to the end of a marriage. And so maybe she felt resentful towards him about the whole job thing, and they also were having issues with something as simple as household chores. She felt like she really didn't have to do any household chores because she was the one working, and so he should be the one to do all the cleaning and the cooking, whereas he was like, you know what, even though I don't go to work, I do financially help support us as well with the money that I have, so it should be 50-50. And I know they had issues with that. Another big problem that they had was the fact that Noi thought it was a great idea for them to live apart part of the time. Not all the time, but part of the time. I don't know if they had like a schedule where they would be together and then she would go back to her apartment, or she would go to her apartment if they got into a fight. It was like a cooling off period that she would leave the home and go to her apartment. I don't know what the arrangement was, but she wouldn't give up her own apartment. So it seemed like she had one foot in and one foot out of the marriage. I remember when Dr. Pepper came to talk to them about, when Dr. Pepper came to talk to them about, this whole living apart thing, and Dr. Pepper gave an example that she and her spouse live in separate homes. Noi's face lit up like a Christmas tree. She thought it was like the best idea ever. And the fact that Dr. Pepper and her husband were doing it successfully, she thought that was, it just kind of like encouraged her to want to do it for her own marriage. And Dr. Pepper did tell her, well, the difference between me and you is that, we're much older, we're a lot more established in our careers. We're not raising a family anymore. All of our children are grown. With you and Steve, y'all are still a newlywed couple. Y'all are young. Y'all are trying to have a family. So it may not be the same thing for y'all to live apart. It may not work as well for y'all. But Noi didn't want to give up her apartment. And also Steve's attitude, he had this way of like, like with the whole pasta situation when she wasn't cooking his pasta the way he liked it, instead of just like talking to her normally, he had this really snarky, condescending attitude with her about what she was doing and criticizing her, instead of just letting her know, like, I don't like it that way, or maybe next time helping her cook so that you can have it the way you want it. But instead he was like really, he had like a snarky, smart aleck kind of tone of talking to her, and that really aggravated her. And that's when they have their very first huge blowout fight. And then what does she do? She goes straight to social media, dropping cryptic messages about how she's feeling about her marriage. And Steve really hated that. And I don't understand why grown people feel the need to have these cryptic messages on social media. Either you're going to tell us exactly what's going on, or if you don't want to talk about what's going on, keep it to yourself. Keep your cryptic messages to yourself and deal with your problems your own way. I just think it was really immature for her to do that. And from reading this article, knowing that, she was still doing that, but she did say that divorce feels, what did she say? Divorce feels so good. So that she couldn't be any clearer than that. But still, you're a grown woman, Noi. Stop with the cryptic messages on social media. Just say what you want to say, or don't say nothing at all. So she went ahead and released her statement about their split, and I guess it was a surprise to Steve because his side of the story is this. Steve, however, was much more somber when it came to breaking the news of the pair's split. In a lengthy Instagram statement, the former sales engineer, see, they call him former sales engineer as if he's still not currently employed. The former sales engineer, 38, explained that he was not expecting this announcement to happen today, but I'm prepared to handle it. When I said yes on decision day, I knew that our relationship was far from perfect, but I held the belief that with enough time, effort, and understanding, we could overcome the challenges we faced and build a healthy, functioning relationship, he wrote in part. Over time, I lost hope that this could happen and believe that we are incompatible in ways that attempts at compromise can't seem to fix or overcome. While he admitted that the pair have been apart for a while now, Steve shared that a part of him was still holding out for the potential for true change in the relationship, but that this surprise announcement is a signal that it's definitely time to let go. Steve also expressed his fear of letting people down by revealing that they had split and shared his well wishes for Noi going forward. And he talks about how he'll always love her, he'll always wish her the best, etc. So it seemed like, they hadn't planned as a unit to make this announcement, but Noi, as an individual, went ahead and made the announcement, and it really surprised him. It took him by surprise, and so he felt the need that he also had to respond as well. So it's really sad. It seems like the only couple that really made it from season 14 Boston was Katina and Olajuwon. Everybody else, their marriages went straight down the toilet. And every time, I want to see a relationship make it to their happily ever after and to stay married and to just try to work through the problems. That's what I would love to see. But it seems like the experts have more losses than wins. And I don't know, but then they pick people that are kind of like destined to fail. And I know they do it for drama, they do it for ratings. They don't really care about these marriages lasting at all. But still, that's what we want to see, more than the drama, more than all of that nonsense. We want to see people try to navigate through an arranged marriage and try to overcome their challenges and make it and stay together. That's what I would like to see. I don't care about the fake drama. I don't care about, bringing weird people together because that it's going to be explosive. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see something where you can tell from the very beginning this is destined to fail. All I'm going to be doing is watching two people go at it with each other, and this is destined to fail. I don't want that. I want to be surprised and see people make it and see people work things out. That's why I watch the show. But it's like, wow, experts, are y'all ever going to get it right more than you get it wrong? Will that ever happen? And The whole thing about even bringing Steve on the show was a big mistake from the beginning because he didn't have a job. Even though he had income, it was very mysterious on how he was generating income. Like, was he just living off savings and that's it? Did he also have investments? Did he have property income? I don't know if they call it passive income. I'm not sure what it's called, where you're not actually going to work every day, but you're still generating income. Like, is that what, how was he making money? Like, how was he? It was never discussed in full or in length. I don't know if Noy even knew. I'm pretty sure maybe after they decided to stay together, he gave her, he let it all out on the table. He laid it all out on the table of how he was, generating income, but maybe it just wasn't good enough for her. I have no idea. So it's really sad, but we did see it coming. And plus, even though Noy said yes, her whole attitude from the beginning, the only time that to me that Noy was really, really happy was, I think, when he told her that he loved her after she had told him, and he really didn't respond the way she wanted him to respond. And then later he ended up telling her in a really special way that he loved her as well. I think that was the only time that I really saw Noy really genuinely happy. But every other time there was always this undertone of sadness, or even when she said yes, it was sort of like there was some uncertainty there. And the whole thing of just wanting to live apart, like she was okay with them living apart and she didn't want to let go of her apartment. It was like she had one foot in and one foot out of the marriage. Like she just really wasn't fully committed to this. Like she was still testing the waters. And I think that, she even had said that when she said, I want us to live apart but still be married, it was kind of like she was still kind of testing it out. She really wasn't sure she wanted to do this. Whereas Steve was like, head first, let's do this. Let's be married. Let's be married forever. Let's have kids. I'm in this 100%. And Nora was always kind of like, well, I'm going to keep my apartment and, let's stay married, but not live together. I was like, what? Anyway, so that was a huge red flag, huge red flag. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for joining me. We wish both of them the very, very best in whatever they decide to do after this. Married at First Sight. I know the season 15 has already started, and it's already started with some nonsense. But Married at First Sight, please, moving forward, please pick normal people who just want to be married and be in a healthy relationship and who are willing to put in the work. Stop with the weirdos and the clowns and the people that are just there for show and tell, and the people that are just there for clicks and views on their own social media, or the people that are just there looking for a break in the entertainment industry. Stop with all of that. That's why it's better to pick people who are just a little bit older. People in their 20s should not be on Married at First Sight, in my personal opinion. They should not be on Married at First Sight because people in their 20s to me seem like they have a lot going on. And how can you say that you've given up on love when you're only 25, 26, 27 years old? You've barely started exploring that part of your life. I think the requirement for Married at First Sight should be 35 and up. People who really who've really tried it all, who've been around the block a few times and just cannot find what they're looking for. People who've been married before and it didn't work out, who've been married a couple of times and it didn't work out. That's what I think they should really, they should focus on that population. But maybe they feel like no one's going to watch people in their 30s and 40s getting married. People want to see young, good-looking, toned, tight people. Maybe that's what they think the audience wants. But I watch Married at First Sight to see people try to make a marriage work. Not people who are trying to be famous. Not people who are trying to get their 15 minutes. Not people who are trying to expand their social media. I don't care about that. And those are the people that, for the majority, are like in their 20s. You know what I mean? But anyways, I've said enough. Thank you so much for joining me. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.